I swear, this will be an interesting episode of Max Stats. We're gonna talk about capitalism again. People don't find it interesting, but you should. What the hell? Well, that's the funny thing. Capitalism destroys relationships. That's what we're gonna talk about. Of all the ways capitalism is destroying relationships. Uh, and it is a game. Capitalism happens to be a game that was shutting down. I mean, the signs were there. People were scared of something. The pandemic across the entire world that shut down businesses. Who would have thought? It indicates shutting down of capitalism as a game. It shows our discomfort of continuing on the same fucking way. The same grind ain't working anymore. So, welcome to the apocalypse year number 6. The vortex year, where people are so uncomfortable right now that they want to jump and change their life radically, which is not a good idea, but you can try, calculate your moves, see what happens. Right now, evil is all around us, running around, celebrating that they have slightly more money than they expected to have, because that's the fucking line of expectations of personal gain, right? It's not actually. This whole pyramid thing can be looked at as like a lot of people are losers and not many people are winners. We're jealous of these people who made it up here. Now, not everyone made it up here in a nice way, but we still respect people who made it up there regardless, even if they're gonna go to jail afterwards. There's still a lot of inspiration can be drawn, and a lot of people want to be rich and have that crazy ass power of being rich. Unfortunately, the game is shutting down. We're moving to something else. Most people hinting at UBI as a good possibility, except UBI is only gonna work when we give money to people that we trust. If we give money and power to people we don't trust, to the bad people, we're not gonna get good results. We only can give money and power to people we trust. Those people can move on with their lives. People who are cool, who are not gonna abuse the internet, your consent, who are not gonna annoy you with bullshit. People who can stay cool will gain the free money, free power. No one else will. It's like a politician thing, right? If you're a politician, you get free money. The only thing you have to do is yell at people, basically, your ideas. Throw your ideas out, and you get pretty good salary for a shitty job or a low effort job. But one part of the job that is important is for you to remain cool. Is the same thing is happening in schools right now. People have to wear uniforms. It's going to get even more strict, I imagine, because they will have to be taught how to achieve UBI. But that's for the future. Right now, we're concerned about self-improvement in terms of what's happening right now. The more closely you can pinpoint what is actually happening, the better your chances at controlling the situation. In this episode of Breaking Down Capitalism, breaking down the year 6, the vortex year, where people are really uncomfortable with where they are. I'm uncomfortable. But it's just like evil, it has rotten into the system, into the fabric, bro. I can see evil clearly, it's just other people refuse to see it. They refuse, bro. They refuse to give a fuck, dude. Which is absolutely insane to me. It makes me a standout. It makes me, being pushed into front lines to face evil myself. And I have to find the proper way to fucking see. what tools to use against evil. Every single time it's a different fucking tool. It's so disgusting to me. Because there's not a lot of fucking help being given to me whatsoever. Anyways, year 6, boys. There's 3 more years to go, and technically, well, time moves very slowly. When you really want those 3 years, it's like fucking jail time, to be honest. For most people, especially for most losers of the game. I don't really feel like a loser. I feel like I never really had a chance to participate successfully. And since I'm sitting on passive income, I'm sitting on a certain style of UBI already, which can just be expanded or rebranded basically, and all of a sudden everyone gets the government support. Because again, you must understand, robots gonna take over jobs. People cannot even have jobs because they're gonna do a fucking bad job anyways. But there's resources to go around, and you should have access to resource at least. And of course, UBI will be enforced by society first. We will ask for this very, very nicely, and then less nicely, and then even less nicely afterwards, until government fucking cracks and gives us what the new game basically, the new game plan. Anyways, until that happens, we have to understand that a lot of people feel lonely right now. Lonely. The first thing is you shouldn't feel lonely. Rich people should feel lonely because they can't flex anymore. The game is shutting down. You can't just sit here with your luxury items, with your big ass bank account, and start flexing around. You're not supposed to do that. No one's gonna give a fuck. All right? We're trying to keep it cool and not give a fuck about people who are rich anymore. All right? In fact, we have now the AI tools to manipulate how we perceive those people. All right, so let's start with the obvious question. Do you feel lonely? Who has to feel lonely, right? So rich people should be lonely because, again, they cannot play the game anymore. They cannot flex, most importantly. They cannot impress us anymore. Especially when we're exposing like some kind of like Diddy party bullshit, right? All these rich people are starting to get kind of exposed at the top of the top, the most Illuminati place where you have infinite money. Like, it is pretty fucking dirty. And increasingly so. It just keeps staining everyone, right? This shit is bleeding every single year. It keeps accelerating. And we haven't even accelerated this year right now. Like, the full story, full blown stories haven't even taken full speed, right? So you should not feel lonely. We're all in solidarity to see these fuckers bleed out all their esteem, and then we can nicely shut down the fucking game of capitalism. Of all these rich people no longer being some kind of special, unique authority over us. No longer inspiration, nothing, bro. It's all gone. But only an NPC level, I imagine. Like, celebrities will still remain popular, politicians will still remain in power, and there's gods of some, I don't know, there's level 4 people who we don't even know about. Like, what is beyond being a politician? And I don't know. I just know that they exist. I can't describe them to you. Are these like concepts like anonymous, like Among Us, like trends? They become trends, and someone fucking can actually ride the trend, and whoever is the best writer, like, is the god of the trends. I don't know, man. I still haven't figured that shit out. If you remember, I put these 4 dots, and the 4th dot is still a mystery to me. I understand that this politicians and celebrities. I don't understand what this is. It's like a godlike creature. You have to genuinely imagine someone who is more powerful than a politician. And it's not impossible to imagine something like that, but it gets pretty difficult. Because most people's visions can only see this much of like celebrity politician, that's it. Politician is so powerful, like what can possibly be more powerful than that, right? Maybe we can look at it as billionaires, like Elon Musk type of person, Mark Zuckerberg. But I think it's more interesting than that. It should be more interesting than just like the most successful. But technically, yeah, they're just floating creatures that they have invented something or taken over something, and they're just floating, imaginary, extremely powerful creatures. They don't necessarily need to be politicians. They can just buy them off. So technically, they sit on top. Billionaires shouldn't exist, right? Well, unfortunately, that's how capitalism works. They produce billionaires. Now, again, this episode is not about that exactly, but anytime I have additional insight for capitalism, it is very much welcome. All right? Diddy Party? Absolutely. Come in here. So we start with loneliness. We understand that most people's priority is not to solve loneliness, is not to make more friends, it's to make more money. Wow. What a crazy deal. My dad, by the way, my dad is part of this fucking circle of people who wants to flex on us, on the rest of the family. There's not even a lot of fucking family left. Like, we're dying every day. We're being less patient every day. We want that fucking money that he has in order to be able to live good life. He could invest into me and gain fucking percentiles, right? Invest into me as a human being, and I'll give him 10%. Maybe that will be good enough for retirement. Who the fuck knows? 10% anything I earn. If he gives me a good fucking place to live, right? You still have to make them deals. You still have to acknowledge that capitalism has not fully collapsed, and you still need to learn the capitalism language and all that shit that you have to talk in terms of money. If you don't talk in terms of money, you're wasting your fucking time with all these NPCs, all this garbage. This is what makes you a loser. This is what crosses you across the line. You have to talk money with people as often as possible. Everything has value, and this is the language right now of like, if you buy the correct items right now, your life is that much better. If you capture the correct opportunity and you invest into it, your life is better. You have to talk money. What can I buy? What can I consider? Talk to people like that over and over again. And you'll realize how much more powerful that is because you are aligned yourself with the universe. Now, right now, the breaking of relationships should stop. Like, I came back home to reunite with my mom and break up with my dad because he's the breaker and my mom is the, you know, sitting duck, I would say. She's just the sitting duck. She's doing absolutely nothing, which is making her drown to some extent. But, I'm trying to feed her like a little, drowned duck, I guess, so she can float a little bit higher into the surface. Trying to detach all the fucking demons, leeches, all this crap. And maybe my dad is gonna also come down from the fucking ego, and I can collapse the only two pieces that I hold value in this real life. That's the only relationships I have left. Funny enough, no relationships have been growing during capitalism. Like, I've been choked up with the personality that I had, like it's nasty, dude. It is nasty for a thinker to even exist right now. All right, it's smoke and mirrors, but in the way that like you feel it. You only see yourself. Those are mirrors, and smoke is that like everything is choking you, bro. Everything is hard, more difficult than it's supposed to be because you have to actually take action, not to teach other people, not to make relationships, but to be one person. That I will get bullied, I will get attacked because that's what people like doing in capitalism. Again, they want to dunk, you know, they want to just bam, uh, sort of simulate authority over others. And guess what that does? That is the first clue of why relationships die. Because every single person wants to spend their fucking flex power to dunk on someone else who's weaker, who has less power, which usually means money, right? Which also means that people who are successful on YouTube, for example, they can lock that success in. It's locked. They cross the line and it's fucking locked for them. Now they're gonna be forever successful until they get canceled, right? Until they get really pulled down by some kind of drama of like you spending your money to enslave little babies or something. You know, it gets crazy. So people can cancel you if you're doing wrong things with your money. But the moment you make it across the line, the moment you become respectable and top tier in something, it's over, dude. Like you're set for life potentially if you don't lose your job, right? But what you should still be losing is friendships and connections, and it's still hard to fucking tell. Like if you're an inspiration to other people, well, they will hold on to you. They will try to use you as a booster, which is does that create relationships or not? We call them parasocial relationships, right? Uh, Caring about celebrities is a parasocial relationship because they don't care about you back. There's no returns into that. You just inspired. You starstruck. You want hopefully you want to be like them, and you don't just want to be a fucking follower, a cultist basically. Because otherwise, you're better off not being a cultist, but being a consumer, right? You appreciate that celebrity exists and it produces some kind of valuable material, but you also must acknowledge that celebrities don't usually produce valuable material. Okay? It usually is very specific, very grindy, very repetitive, and it's very difficult for them to actually produce something useful. But again, celebrities is a clue that capitalism destroys relationships. Because while you're focusing over here, you're destroying everything around you. All right, because you're disrespecting everything around you. You're not putting enough attention into things around you. I disrespect things around me because they genuinely fucking are trash. All right, they genuinely don't even ask respect when they should be asking respect when there's calm and peace. Then you should be asking for respect. You should be asking for, hey, how's it going? You know, how are things? And I'm like, oh, you're actually asking for real respect. You don't just like drama started and it's like you have to respect me actually. What is drama? No one's gonna respect anyone right now. Unless you can calm the fuck down. It's crazy. People around me are absolutely crazy. That's why I just look up to celebrities as like a little bit more sane people who are successful because to be successful is to be sane and not spend waste your money on drugs or whatever, right? Ever since my childhood, I mean, we never really got a escape from this capitalism bullshit. I was born into it as a millennial, basically. I was born from the very beginning, not realizing that I'm sitting in school learning nothing about capitalism. All right? Learning nothing of how like intrusive this system actually is and how much it matters. Like my dad was learning more about it and wasn't capable of actually teaching me until, I finished school and I did school. And he's like, "Oh yeah, let me show how you actually live life, bro." And it fucking opened my eyes of like, "Wait, what?" So this whole time I was chasing a fantasy of like college degree into the void, basically. The void of possibilities and no real consequences. It's crazy, eh? You just finish school and unfortunately college is just a distraction. It's disgusting. And people keep latching on to like all these billionaires skipping college, which is not exactly the solution because it doesn't even matter. What matters is ability to make money. That's it. That's your success. It's much more simple. Your ability to make money. So you have to lean every skill towards learning how to make money. But now it's too late. All right? People have whoever mastered the game have mastered the game. The game is collapsing. We don't even get to talk about it anymore in the same light. It's collapsing. It's falling apart. It is no longer making sense. People are genuinely greedy, and the next thing that happens is rent. Rent is what still some people like genuinely became evil and they want to stay afloat because if they cross this line, they feel like life is over. There's obviously another line to cross, which is like homelessness and whatnot. And you definitely don't want to fucking touch that shit. Alright. There's a little bit of help given from all kinds of sources to not put you in homelessness, keep you away from that shit. So it's as bad as Diddy Party. Alright, all this homeless shit. But rent. And rent is enslavement of humanity, is greed. It makes no sense for rent prices to go up because what is increasing in value all of a sudden? Like we're increasing productivity, but rent can just go up whenever it wants to. It's just like, oh, this extortion of money, as long as I have more money, they can just take more money. You know? And no, it's not regulated in any way. It's not market regulated because the more money someone has, the more houses they can buy. They can have unlimited amount of property and they can just rent that unlimited property. This is a loophole basically in the game of capitalism that breaks the entire fucking game and makes everyone upset. Because no one's fixing this fucking loophole. So loophole is also going to destroy relationships you would like to have relationship with a landlord. Just would be nice if we're both nice to each other. But no. Most landlords are greedy little fucks who found a loophole and hanging on to that shit. Enslaving humanity in the process. How beautiful, right? And everyone's in on this, and landlords actually don't do much of a job whatsoever, in a way. They have no idea how to function as human beings anymore, I would say. Losing humanity, losing morality is pretty bad going into the future, I would say. Because someone will want to fix the fucking loophole eventually, right? Someone will have the power and the capacity to fix it across the world. One step at a time, though. So the next step is actually same step, greed. As you extend greed, it also destroy relationships. Because if someone has so much money, they can just, enslave you, treat you as a service, treat you the way that you wouldn't like to be treated, but you're earning money from that. They enable prostitution and all this fucking nasty shit. Or take things away from you because they can afford it. They can just have things while you can't. And there's this inequality happening as well. Of like, you cannot hang out with rich people that easily, can you? But inequality is not the problem. It's the greed that's the problem. Is seeing you as a lesser value person who's completely useless, who cannot even get employment. Inequality, greed, you get the idea. It's very difficult to hang on to a person who's pretty much rejecting you because you're not fancy enough, right? Greed is gonna kill most relationships. It's like I want you to look good. I want you to have good manners. All this is greed, my friends. If it doesn't have a good purpose, it is fucking greed. Some people want to be lazy. Some people want to fucking chill. And narcissists want to make everything look good. Look good for social media, pictures, everything, bro. I understand cleaning, right? Especially asking a person to take showers or wash their hands and face if they have fucking acne, because that's how you fucking deal with it. It's a whole nother level to demand. It's one of those demand to wear a suit by Zelensky of like, why are you not wearing a suit? Because you fuck off, you pieces of fucking shit, you know? You greedy pieces of shit. These fuckers, the Trump office, the whole fucking greedy sludge fest, bro, it's crazy. How they are so money oriented people. How can they divide their money equally, right? All of a sudden, you try to divide it, it's gonna get divided, all right. People are gonna be backstabbing each other real fast for the last bit of fucking money. That's what's also happening. Crime. Crime is dividing us as well. Because most people don't want to be criminals, and criminals have to separate themselves from people who will snitch on them, and all of a sudden there's this whole new economy of criminals basically splitting themselves from the rest of society. Like, just relationships keep falling apart because of capitalism. Because there's this incentive to do stupid shit, man. Crime can be out of greed or desperation. I am not gonna judge, mostly out of desperation, right? And the rest of the world sits, waits in patience. I mean, what else can we do? Best you can do is grow your fucking own food, and all of a sudden, bam, slam, you're doing fine. You're just farming, but you can't fall behind if you don't learn new technologies, you don't protect your farm from the evils of the government, bro. Jesus. I'm gonna throw something in there because I'm kind of running out of ideas. There's microtransactions, bro, and I can't type it. In games, right? There's all this gambling shit as well going on. Like, it's all this mindless behavior, debt. People in debt, people asking for money. Like, all of a sudden, these are icky people because they only concentrated on the money part when they probably would be just fine making relationships. But they have this, like, brain rot, right? Brain rot on money. Focus on money instead of focusing on making friends, because if you are fucking homeless, your priority is no longer money. Alright? Money ain't gonna fucking save you, bro. Money can buy you maybe items, and still questionable if you are the person who can be responsible of buying yourself all the things, because you already ended up in a situation where you can't fucking do shit. There's icky and ickiness overall. You know, if you brain rot solely on money and ask other people for money, it gets really weird. Really awkward for other people to respond with just kindness. It's not easy, man. Especially not for me, who I understand that this is fucking brain rot of like that's not how it's done. Like nothing is free. You have to make an equal exchange with me. You can't just ask for money. That's not how this game fucking works. And yet there's brain rot of thinking that there's some kind of other loophole of you just ask for infinite money of everyone. Like that would be nice. Doesn't work that way. Most people have to seek to be useful. That's it. And they get the fucking money. And hopefully government doesn't fucking stand in the way. This little fucking bitch. Which is the worst thing ever. You know? But I don't think government destroys relationships. Another thing that capitalism does to destroy relationships, which is very interesting, is replacement. Moving. And like, do you see how much we stacked already? That's crazy to me. We just keep stacking these fucking words. Like, it blows my mind. It literally destroys relationships. It's literally fire to the earth as 1-to-1 ratio, bro. It is fire to the earth. And you gotta be careful not to play with fire. You're told that. Don't play with fire. It's a fucking serious matter. You earn money, and money is a serious thing too. To come out of this. It's serious. You're making sacrifices. You're making relationship sacrifices all the time. So replacement, you move out from a location, you move into a different location, you replace your circle of friends just by moving things around, just by buying new things, just by changing the game you play. Just the new game you play, new community, everything is new. Replacement is what's gonna break relationships. It's crazy, dude. This is another word, and it's a fucking huge word of what people supposed to be doing. They're supposed to seek new experiences, seek new relationships, all that shit. Makes other relationships fall apart. Unfortunate. Okay. Feels hopeless now, huh? I'm gonna add this, like, the newest thing, reckless behavior of buying things that actually harm other people. And ain't no Diddy fucking shit, but technically it is. Like, you're the top of the mountain of buying the stupidest thing ever that will harm the rest of humans, whether it's a fucking dog, that will break relationships, reckless fucking purchases, motorcycle, getting a child too early, that's a reckless fucking behavior. You know, I can have sex, I can have bitches and prostitution all over, like, even that. Enslavement. People have less time to have relationships. Do you understand? We keep stacking, bro. We keep stacking. We cut things in half to the point where it's no doubt why we are lonely. That is just the consequence of capitalism. Enslavement. We don't have enough time to actually even spend on dating and getting to know each other. That's not even the point anymore. People had that when, we weren't consumed by technology as well, which is another form of enslavement, is paralysis. Yep. For all the things that you can buy, all the cool shit you can do will paralyze and freeze you over from being able to move out of your shell. You're gonna turn into an incel, right? Do you? Wow! Can we stop already? Like, I'm getting tortured right now knowing how many ways are we further apart from making relationships. We just can't do it. It's impossible. And again, there's this bullying thing going on. Bullying. Why bullying? Because people want to flex. Of like, look at me though. Give me attention. Please give me attention. Ugh. It physically hurts now how much I stack this shit. I mean, at this point, I have to release a TikTok for this thing. Simplified version. Oh my goodness. Again, the only time you really meet other human beings is when you're making purchases and services and you have to be nice with each other because, goddamn, this is that only fucking moment when you can be nice, when you can maintain a relationship of some kind. It's crazy, dude. When you can throw a compliment, you have to take opportunities whenever you can, knowing the scarcity around you and loneliness. Epidemic loneliness. Who would have thought, right? Now it's blatant. It's explained in very simple terms. The last thing I'm gonna put on top is the masks. The intentions gets twisted because you don't know if someone is in it for the money or someone genuinely likes you. You don't know. Until you take money out of the equation and it's like, oh, you just wanted a free meal, didn't you? Which is why you have to make, again, lean onto the idea of win-win situations in capitalism. Everything tends to kind of not be too much of a burden if you do things correctly. Otherwise, they will destroy you. They will destroy your relationships and you will not be able to recover as fast, without giving up. All the luxury that you have accumulated, you will have to give up to get your friends back, but on your side. If you don't have luxury, there's nothing to worry about. I can just sit here, chill, see capitalism fall apart in front of my eyes, how less and less people are willing to, happily do whatever they're doing right now. And I can give them hints of like these specific words, specific phrases that would help them, guide them out of this stupid mindset that we're going to be lonely forever. No, just got to be more careful next time. Not to wildfire everything around you. For technically, you can own everything if you have enough money. But in reality, you don't need everything. Making it completely fucking useless when you have something you don't need. You bloat and eventually destroy the economy. It's like the economy just doomed to be destroyed. Capitalism is doomed to end. This is doomed to just be treated as a fucking game, not as something truly serious and lifelong. Fire is never forever, never eternal. Fire needs fuel. After we baby boomed the shit out of the population, we found a lot of fuel. We found a lot of human beings, and it's like, wow, we have to play this game show where whoever earns the most money gets to be taking advantage of the rest of the humans or whatever. It's just a crazy ass fucking game, but it is what it is. Which also kind of creates this like soulless existence, which is another stack of like people not being treated for just being human beings, genuine human beings. They're being treated for whatever they can offer, right? Keeps getting better and better, as I say. I think that's it. I think we can keep it short. This is a crazy revelation for me. We can also think of like, what can you do about it? Alright. Well, funny enough, every single word that I've mentioned, like greed and recklessness, are traits. You cannot have those traits. You can avoid having this shit. You can avoid doing crime. You name it, bro. You name it. These are just traits. Being soulless and treating people in a certain fucking way. Those are traits. You don't have to have that shit. It's just capitalism offers you thins while playing the game. Shortcuts almost of how you can outpace other people. And the devil is gonna be offering you cheat codes if for those people who don't understand the consequences of picking up those cheat codes. Ah, yes, the beast games. Beast games have shown the stupidity of people of like, you're in it for the money. You're not in it to make relationships, so you're fucking insane. That is crazy. You can't just rip off Mr. Beast. You're trying to wave at the camera and be like, oh, look how moral of a human being I am. That is the dumbest thing, you know? At least admit that you're supposed to take the money yourself, but no one even wants to take responsibility for having money. This is actually scary climbing this shit. I mean, it gets scary because you feel like you're gonna be more and more disliked and all that shit. And technically, Mr. Beast games was happening during the apocalypse when people are starting to hate rich people. We have tons of technology and not many ways to actually implement that technology to spread it around. To be able to trust other people is very difficult. Now, guess what? It's another fucking shit on a stack. Mistrust. You have to use money as like a fucking mana, like a magical spell generator. If you can have a relationship for short term, potentially, again, you go into a store selling pizzas, right? Of like, hello, how's it going? You know, what is the best deal you can give me? $10. you you can conjure good vibes around yourself. Don't expect relationships to form, but it's cool, right? And I would like that to be the case. I like people to figure out how to play this fucking game. It might be too late now because, well, fuck me, dude. Uh, my life has fallen into just like the most simple fucking terms. It's scary, but at least I have the internet, you know? I have the ability to complain, to vent into the open, for us to be interconnected is the only thing that fucking saves our lives right now. The internet. And I always encourage people to be more social, to post things online, to give feedback to people. They can't just sit fucking in silence and rot as a nobody, you know? You have to assert your name. I can only spread my wings so far in like 100 directions, maybe max, and that's about it. But people gotta stay connected, man. Use internet for what it's supposed to be and not fucking bullying, again, a trait that you're not supposed to have. I think this episode was insanely powerful. We literally connected loneliness with traits that people have that are super fucking toxic. I can technically bring those words back up again for the next episode and tell you guys how to avoid doing those bad things that will end you up in a shitty situation. You at least have to recognize that everyone is lonely. At least start there. That everyone wants to start a new, fresh thing where we shake hands and have experiences and hug and kind of accelerate relationships really fast and accept that we're tons of human beings right now, like looking for partners and looking for friends and looking for people to hang out with and experiment cool shit, right? Build cool shit. Like, there's so much that can be achieved right now with people and not with this isolating bullshit game of capitalism. Those are my final words. Stay positive because there's a bright future ahead of us. But if you adopt too many bad traits, I can't help you with that. You know? You gotta first listen, which is another thing. Like, people stop listening. Their attention span is fucking destroyed. And it's a real thing. No attention. Because you're anxious of like, but I want to make money. I want to make money. I want to have money. I want to have this and that. So your attention is being ripped into shreds by people having things of like, this guy has that thing and I want that thing, and you keep running around wanting things you can't have. And shouldn't you pay attention first to things that you already have? Of how to embrace and squeeze value out of those things. It is crazy, dude. Like, people can lose their fucking minds in this game of virtues, I would say. Oh, I mean, scams. A lot of wasteful behavior happens. People just waste each other's time for the sake of moving money around. Waste skills. You don't have even a skill to communicate. You don't have the skill to respect and communicate. Like, can you imagine all these things, bro? Just raining down upon us. Every single sin is gonna end you up more lonely. And more attracted to money, but more lonely as a result. You should not trade in relationships for money. But again, that's what the devil allows you to do. Of like, burn this, burn that, destroy this. Waste your time. Waste your money for reckless fucking purchases. And then even burn even more shit. Enslave other people for the sake of money. With the loopholes that already exist in place. God damn, bro. Isn't capitalism a ugly son of a bitch that we just figure out with the simple words lonely? Alright? If we stood together, if we truly cared about money, we would know how to actually save it. Together, we would share advice, we would talk money, but the game is over now. Sorry about that. Well, we can still hold hands and see it all fall apart. Alright? See you guys next time.